Hello and welcome to this week's episodes of The Calling. Follow your spirit all the way in. I'm your host, Homaya. Join me in this journey of self-awareness, soul frequencies, and spiritual revelations. Let's fly. Hello, and blessings. Welcome. Homaya is here. I am tuning in with a very deep and transformative sharing that I feel is important for so many people to hear that. This is something that I went through in my own journey. And I am seeing more and more of my clients, of my people, going through that specific, we can say, internal transformation. So this transmission today is about the journey of moving from intuition to divine messages. And as I shared, I believe that there are so many people who are going through that in this era now. Let me know if this topic of trusting your intuition, following your intuition, and moving from feeling the truth within you that is relevant to you to carrying a divine message for others, for individuals, and maybe even for groups is something that you're questioning yourself about, you're questioning the spirit about, you're questioning your channels. And if so, then today's episode is really, really great for you. More than that, I'd like to invite you to call and invite others to listen. Because as I shared, I feel it is a collective doubt that we get to transform now more than ever. So I want to start by sharing my story. My story as a teacher. For so many years, I've been sharing my story of awakening and how I moved from being an architect to being a healer and starting serving people without even thinking about it. My clinic was just filled up very naturally. But then there's a certain moment where I started teaching. I was teaching in different places around the world. And I was teaching what I was initiated to teach by my teachers. So there was specific downloads that I've received that was passed down from teacher to students, from teacher to students through generation in my spiritual lineage. That specific teaching touched my heart, transformed me personally. So it was just natural for me to teach. And I rarely speak about this part. I rarely speak outside on the podcast, on Instagrams. I rarely share what happened to me as I travel the world, as I've seen more and more and more healers and initiated more and more and more healers, and then initiated teachers, and then arrived into a point where I couldn't keep on teaching what I've received. As you can imagine, it is very emotional for me. As you can imagine, it is deep. This is another pivot point in my life, although that didn't happen in one day. It unfolded with the time. One of the things that happened is that the voice of my intuition transformed. And the way that it landed within me, and the way that it landed in others, the way that it guided me, and the way that it guided others transformed. When I moved to being a teacher, I was moved by spirit. I just felt I can hold the energy. I can hold the download, and I can share it with others. I wanted to see more people transform the way that I transformed. I wanted to see and feel and support more, to get of that nectar, to get of that medicine, to get of that beautiful, beautiful things that touched me. And this is what I've done. And I was sitting in the teacher chair, at the teacher chair in the room, and giving the transmissions. I was empowered and supported by my lineage, my spiritual lineage. I cannot even tell you how wonderful it is, how powerful it is, and how blessed we are to be able to receive teachings that were passed down through generations and make them actual and relevant and vivid and alive now for us. And I'm grateful for everything that I've received. One of the things that happened to me as I kept on teaching more and more is that I felt that there is an additional flavor. There was the transmission, the passed down teachings, and then there was an additional flavor. It had a similar frequency of my intuition. I felt that it is almost like insights that I feel when I'm sitting and writing for myself in my diary, when I meditate, when I do different things in my day-to-day, create, write, and there's an insight coming. And I knew the frequency. I loved it. I recognized it. I felt it. I knew it. And it was inspiring to teach it. It was inspiring to bring it. But as I evolved, that additional voice started getting stronger and stronger. I would even say started to be wiser, wiser and wiser. I kept on learning. I kept on learning and traveling the world and teaching and working with people. What I name my spiritual muscles evolved. There were periods that I would see in person hundreds of people in a month. I would have different classes. I would even say sometimes up to, 15 classes in a month. Some of the classes were just 4 hours. Some of the classes were 7 days. I was moving from one retreat center to another retreat center. And of course, it impacted me. It impacted the way that I could give a transmission. It impacted the channel that I am. It impacted the accuracy, the way that the teaching could land on someone's energy field and how they could transform that person. So the downloads, the additional downloads, were rising, were increasing, were more intense, more powerful, more in truth frequency. And they were parallel to the passed down teachings. So if at the beginning I would sit in the chair, sit in the room, and give a transmission, and what I would feel is the potency of the spiritual lineage that I was part of, I started to feel an additional frequency. And I couldn't, at that time, figure out that this is another lineage, that this is something more like an archetypal lineage, a galactic lineage. And as I'm speaking it, I feel it in my system. I feel it in my body. I couldn't imagine those two passing through me. What I felt is that there's my spiritual lineage, and I am super, super, super loyal and dedicated to it. And probably me, my wisdom. And there was a situation in classes sometimes that I would say out loud, quote me, let's write it. And I started walking with a recorder everywhere. I had some people, some assistants that were working with me in different countries as I was traveling. And I had some people who were working with me in my own business, not in the countries that I was traveling. And it became quite normal and natural. I had this little vertical, rectangular red recorder, and we were all obsessed and possessed about the battery and that we will manage to record all the teachings and the downloads. And of course, sometimes we managed to record them, and sometimes we didn't. And also here, it took me a moment. It took me 1, 2, 3 times to realize that the reason that it's not recording, it's because of the frequency, not because of the machine. It's because of the frequency. That was quite an expansion, I would say, that I needed to go through, another expansion. And still at that time, I couldn't say, dang, what is it coming from? I still connected it to the voice of my intuition. I wonder, as you are listening to me, if you also have this question inside of you. How much of your intuition is really yours? How much of your intuition is coming deeply, profoundly from within you? And how much of your intuition is from a higher source, a greater truth, something that you become the student of it? And please breathe. I believe that every messenger of light, every messenger of the divine is carrying a composition of the channel that they channel, the entity, the being, the lineage, and the channel they are. And those two interact. Those two, we can even say, depend on each other. The channel that you are, the vessel that you are, is super important. Of course, the physical body, the level and the frequencies and the intensity that the physical body can carry. I'm breathing deep as I am recalling that there were some times that I had to speak fast, that I had to create another class and another class and another class. I had to schedule another visit in another country. I had to move this energy through me because it could have been even painful in my own body. I had to generate it. I had to share it. Sometimes it was not logic. Sometimes either my partner or my team would say to me, no, we cannot teach a class now. No one will sign in. No one will sign up. It's just going to go waste for nothing. But it was not about if people will sign up. It was not about if people will pay for it. It was not about if even people are interested to learn it. I had to teach it. I had to write it. I had to verbalize it. I had to bring it to life. I had to liberate it through my body. I had to render it. There was, I would say, more obligation than passion. Sometimes my passion became teaching. My passion became channeling. My passion became serving others. My passion became the joy of seeing other people's eyes lit. But what I had to go through on my physical body was intense. So there were periods of time that if I wouldn't teach, I would feel bad, challenged, uncomfortable. So that was for the physical body. And there were also for the emotional body and for my mental body. I had to confront what I at that time would have named shadows, but now know that those are not shadows. Those are places within me that are yearning to transform, yearning to liberate through me. Some of them were mine. Some of them were channeled through me. And again, this is a big invitation for you to listen to it and to feel. Is it yours? Is it similar to what you are experiencing? And if you know that there's someone in your field, there's someone that you know, a colleague, a friend, that maybe in some way are under the burden of channeling and under the burden of evolving as a channel, evolving as a divine messenger, evolving as a leader of light, then call them to listen to this transmission. Let them have this medicine. At a certain moment, the additional transmission that was added to the teaching that were from my spiritual lineage were intense, more than how much I felt my spiritual lineage. And the additional transmission, the additional pieces of truth, the additional wisdom started to be inspiring by its own accord. I had this perception that the structure was from my spiritual lineage and that the additional teachings were abstract knowledge. I related to it as an abstract knowledge because so many times I was just sitting in the field or with myself at home even, and they would come so abstract. And somehow I render them into words and deliver them. It never had a structure. I never felt that there's a structure. But I felt that they are triggering me. I felt that they put questions in my head, they put questions in my system, and those questions were deep. So I started asking those questions. Started asking them through looking at my students, through looking at masters, through looking at the teachings that I taught. And I felt that I am standing on a verge of transformation. I felt that I'm standing on an edge, that I might, and this is what I've done, need to stop teachings. Stop the teachings. I need to stop the pass down teachings. I had to stop teaching healing. I had to stop working with people in that specific way because something else wants to come. If before there was a sensation that if I am not teaching, I'm feeling uncomfortable, and that when I am teaching, I need to really bring everything fast and intense. Now, at that moment, it started to be the other way around. I could not schedule a class. And if I would schedule a class, I had to process so much before. Wow. There were days I had fevers. There were days I couldn't go out of bed. There were days that I would arrive to the classroom without voice. Others will say sick. And I could still teach. It was quite incredible. Those two channels were simultaneously passing through me. But I recognized that I had to stop, that I couldn't continue like that. Something is not supporting here. I took a year off, a whole year off. I think my child was 3 years old, more or less. I accepted only private clients and private retreats. This is it. And what passed through me that year was mind-blowing. That was the year that I channeled Windows to the Universe, the elaborated chakra system, the way that we are reaching potential energy as human. This is huge. This is massive. And honest to goodness, it's just the beginning. There's so much more. I wrote what I name the Awakened Healer. And this is, the way that I teach and the way that I work. But this is also like massive, massive download. And I wrote, just a little bit afterwards, I wrote the templates of the light activators, the light leaders, and the imprints, the 4 imprints that many of you know. That was clear. It's not anymore my intuition. It's not anymore my ideas or bright ideas that I had. It's not anymore concepts that came to the channel that opened. When it was my intuition and it was the teaching that passed through my lineage, the spiritual lineage that I was part of, at that time I would channel some things to people. I would channel, what your grandmother is saying to you and what your spirit guides are highlighting. But as I let go of that, as I accepted to put that aside, the new channel that opened didn't have just messages, information. The new channel was showing me maps, landscape, architectures, cities, complex, some things that took me years to write, some things that I am not even sure that I will be able to teach. It will take years to teach. But the level of embodiment that I have for those teaching or of those teachings is so high because I was the first student. I had to learn it myself. I had to listen to it. I had to allow it to transform me. I had to allow it to change the way I see myself, the way I see others, the way I see life, the way I see spirit and spirituality. And to deal with the internal, I would say, journey of being humble to receive it, to be that student, and then evolving emotionally and mentally to be the one who carry that truth, the one who share that truth, the one who highlight through that, the one who heal through that, the one who empower through that. And to find the middle line, the center line, that is both, neither that, not the other, that is an open channel, a student and a master simultaneously. I'm sharing that as transmission and potent visibility are at the door. I'm sharing that because I'm aware that there are so many people in my field. There are so many people around me that have very strong intuition. So many people around me are telepathic and they just get it. They just feel it. They just sense it. But not necessarily are going through the journey yet of transforming themselves to be the one who is not only following an intuition or just receiving hints and insights, but rather carrying divine messages, carrying templates and wisdom. And that is a journey to move through. So it is, of course, including trusting your intuition, but it's also including being that person who's able to render that pieces of information and becoming available to receive those messages. I believe 100% that each individual is carrying a specific signature, a specific medicine. And of course that there are a group of people who are carrying a specific type of medicine, but still, for each person, it's slightly different, it's slightly unique, and this is how it is designed. And that journey of moving from having just intuition and just feeling into it and reading the energy and opening a card and reading the card, the intuition is the baby version of psychic abilities. The intuition is amazing, but it's so many times just serving you or just serving an occasion. I know that there's a lot of people around me that were designed to carry much more. I know that there's a lot of people around me that have the ability to carry much more for themselves, for others, and for humanity. So I want to give some highlights and some insights of what you can do. But I also want to invite you to join Transmission. And if you're serious about your light service, about your spiritual service, then to join Potent Visibility. Transmission is starting on the 2nd of September. And even if you're listening to it afterwards, it will keep on going until the 12th of September. This is 6 modules. There's so much there. It is potent field. It is an active field that will open you up and open the throat and open the channel to carry a voice that makes an impact. Transmission. Trans. You deliver it. Mission. Because you're part of this constellation on Earth. Transmission. And this is a free experience. It's a free teaching. It's a free masterclass. And if you're listening to the podcast, then you will see it in the show notes of this specific podcast episode. Transmission will open the channel, and even if the channel is quite open, it will liberate more and more aspects for you really to be able to overcome any stories that you have, because so many are doubting the channel, are doubting the vessel, are doubting the spirit that deliver the message, are doubting the way that the message land, are doubting the audience, or maybe have some people, their grandmothers or their aunts or their, I don't know, other family members or old friends that are polluting their energy field with restrictions of what is working and what is not working and what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. So Transmission will support you to liberate the channel, open the channel, free the channel. This is quite good, quite amazing, quite powerful. And then, as I said, if this is clear for you, that this is your work, that you came here in this life to be a messenger of the divine, to be that person who's doing the inner work to open the vessel, to transform the vessel that you are, to be able to render frequency, to translate frequencies into words, into messages, to carry that I'll teach you the way that I'm doing it. I know that there are so many people who are learning channeling in a very different way than what I teach. I don't teach just to sit and write in free hands or something like that. My way of holding space and being a channeler and really getting not just a message, one message at a time, but really able to change your frequency to a higher frequency more and more as you live and as you serve is different. I'm teaching you my way, which is a way that you get to live your life as a human with a family and with friends and etc. and to serve and to feel completely confident with that service, with that message. So potent visibility is 10 modules. It's 10 modules and 3 VIP modules, we can say. VIP trainings. So the VIP is already full. All the VIP spots are taken. But if you hear and you feel that you want to be in a VIP, then you can send us a message. We're contemplating options of opening more VIP spots. Okay, so let me just say one more thing about potent visibility. Potent visibility will start on the 15th of September and will go until the 10th of October. The price of this program, the price of this teaching is 2,450 euros. There's possibility to pay it in payment. Yet it is still in pre-sale price, which means that you can enter in 1,820 and it will stay in that price until the 5th of September. If you want to join Potent Visibility, then check the show notes. It's worth. Just open the landing page and feel the frequency that comes from it. In Potent Visibility, I'm teaching you how can God be more potent, visibly potent through you. So here are some guidelines that I can share with you today. How to move from just intuition to carrying divine message. I'll start with respecting it. Respect what you receive. Taking it for granted, not giving it the honor, the attention, the internal altar that welcome those insights will keep the frequency of those insights small. I'm taking you, those who are listening from the beginning of this transmission today, I'm taking you to this point where I shared with you that I would just shout in class. There's some people here who have been in those classes listening now. I would have just shout in the middle of a class, come on with me, write it. Someone had to capture it. Celebrate it. Celebrating the teaching, celebrating the wisdom, honoring what is coming, respecting it, writing it, feeling into it is valuable. You want to be positive about it. If you underestimate it, if you doubt it even, if you just doubt it and say, oh, I don't know if I can trust it, I cannot trust it, should I follow it? Or maybe you are even afraid of it. Then your emotional and physical body cannot handle, cannot carry the transmission. It's just like, look, it's falling. Why would spirit give it again? If it gives you and you say, oh, I don't know if I can trust it. Oh, I don't know if you spoke with me. You know when spirit speaks with you. And you know when spirit speaks through you. Underestimating it and underestimating you, taking it so down. You're pouring water You're just pouring water over the holy fire that comes. So respecting yourself and respecting the message and celebrating it, and then even taking it in. Taking it in. You don't cancel it. You're opening yourself to the fact that it came for you. If it came through you, it came for you, it came as you. Maybe not as you see yourself. Maybe not as you on your daily life. Maybe not as you know yourself from your history, but as you as your higher self. As you as the one that you're becoming. Then allow it to ground deeper within you. Contemplate about what you have heard. Feel into it. Create a conversation with it inside of you. Not through your mind, but through your spirit. Create a conversation. Ask more questions. Respond in the most wise and noble way. Allow the channel to be opened from within you and experiment it. If it feels challenging or you're afraid to experiment the teachings, then remember that you can always do more and more and more consecrations and then experiment. Release demands and release ideas of how you're going to make it and how the teachings would come and what would they be appropriate for or serving. Be willing to be the student and let that teach you what it can do to you and through you. Those are some of the insights and the guidance that I can already give you. Probably going to go live again in the next few days because I want to share with you that specific journey in another way. I want to share with you that journey and the way that this journey reflected in what I name my spiritual business. How my business scaled, how my income increased, how my connection to my clients and my students and my healies became stronger and clearer, how the quality and the type of people who worked with me completely transformed as a representation of me listening and following and allowing the intuition to become a divine message. I will update and I will share when I'll go live with that specific teachings. I hope that, and I believe that what I gave today was of service for you to trust yourself more, for you to trust spirit more, for you to be able to allow yourself to render more of this abstract concept into concrete wisdom and concrete knowledge that can be shared. And of course, to open the door for you to join free masterclass transmission or to go even deeper and join potent visibility. I'm very grateful for this transmission today. I'm very grateful for your presence. Thank you for all this love. It is so beautiful. There's so many messengers of light that are still compromising their potency with little intuitions here and there. I love you. I bless you. Thank you. Thank you for listening and being part of this great conversation. You will find all the relevant links in the show notes, as well as a link to a meditation for you to feel more connected to your spirit and aligned with your soul contract. Please, if this episode touched you, leave a review, like, and subscribe. Feel comfortable to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because everyone has a calling.